no gold is not enough.
Good evening everyone, Firebuster here and welcome back to my channel. Today, a few weeks ago, the update 9.1 is out and we're gonna see what's new. It's just 3 new tanks and a lot of tier 10s gets rebalanced. It's just ruining and taking better all the wars, and yeah, all tier 10s just rebalance, and there's a ranks is available at tier 8. Some of the tier 8s doesn't have it, but the ranks are just stupid. Why you just grinding it for credits? Give it a hit, give it to the ranks just for the sale, and that's it, some discounts on it. But it's just, ranks are just stupid. But let's see some tanks, even 3 new tanks coming into the game soon. And yeah, let's check. IS-2 Shield, a tier 7 Russian heavy tank, and yeah, it's just a IS-2 with space armor on there, on a hull and a turret. Yeah, it's just a IS-2, but it's just a copy on it and just adding space armor, and that's it. So yeah, the penetration is just pretty good and the damage is quite good, but the aiming time just meh, and dispersion meh. It's just accuracy just sucks on it, and accuracy just sucks. The mobility is just pretty not good, just averageable. But this heavy tank just doesn't need the mobility. So yeah, 32 kilometers per hour is just quite nah for me. But yeah, mobility is just kinda averageable, but it's kinda weird because yeah. So the armor 120mm on a hull, it makes good. You can take some upper plate on a hull, it just takes some bounces, but yeah, the 100mm is on the lower plate, so you need to just care about, just watch out on there. Yeah, the hull just pretty weak, just 90mm on the side. It's just pretty weak, but yeah, 135mm at the front. It's just isn't that good, but it makes it's just quite penetrable for tier 8s, and just kinda tier 6 take some bounces, but yeah, just kinda averageable for me. But yeah, just quite a average tank, just like the IS-2 1945. Just it's just an averageable tank. So yeah, the M4, yo, a tier 8 American heavy tank, and yeah, we finally got another yo with oscillated turrets. You have really good armor on the turret fronter. It's just good for the tier 8, but it can shoot when they have tier 9 with gold shells. Just bah on it. DPM just quite good. Reloading time just getting nah for me, but share reloading time, yeah, 7.50 on the four pieces of magazine. Yeah, just quite averageable. But yeah, penetration is quite good. Ghost shell is just good. Aiming time and dispersion just pretty decent. You have 8 degrees of gun depression, which is good for hull down, and you have good mobility, just 40 kilometers per hour. For the average speed, just 26 kilometers per hour. Just pretty, just ain't good, but yeah, just gotta, from me, just nah. Tower turn rate, hull turn rate just quite good. And yeah, the hull just 158 can take some bounces, it takes some pan on it. It's just kinda, yeah, you can take some bounces. So yeah, you have really strong armor, but the lower plate, just like other tanks, doesn't, is just penetrable. But upper plate just impenetrable. Like, what the hell is this tank doing? Yeah, the weakness is this cupola and the lower plate when you go fight against this guy on the front. But yeah, that's it. Just it's just a kind of good tank when you got it. And there is from the August Battle Pass. It's a rover, another tier 6 hibernation light tank. Yeah, Wargaming has just out of ideas, and it makes like this. Yeah, just kind of, yeah, just animation for this gun. It just blowing up. It just lights on. Yeah, the armor just completely on paper, so you need to watch out against KV2s or the guys with high HE than your armor. So yeah, just kinda weird, but you have no armor whatsoever. You have a good DPM. You have 5.66 seconds of reloading time. You have good penetration, and you have 4 seconds of aiming time and dispersion, like 0.355. It's just pretty averageable decently, but yeah, you have 9 degrees of under pressure, which is good, but it doesn't take some bounces because you have no armor whatsoever. So yeah, just kinda weird for it, but yeah. So the mobility just really good at 64 kilometers per hour. It's really good, and yeah, you have really good mobility. It's just another battle pass tank that's some of them like that like the Ranger has no armor whatsoever, which is the current tank from this battle pass on today's tank. But this on this tank for upcoming battle pass is just the same, but yeah, it's just kind of same because you have no armor, just like the Ranger. There's just no matter what, but you have a good penetration, and it's just kind of meh for that because the armor is just the same as a T20. It's just a base on where can I find the base on the T37. So it just kind of weird for that. So the balance changes all tier 10s. Let's check it out. And here we go, the balance changes of all tier 10s. That's right. Wargaming just announced there will be changes of all tier 10s for some reasons. Well, let's get even started. First we got a Sheridan. The hit points just getting nerfed a little bit. View range has been buffed. The rate of fire has a buff. The reloading time has buffed. Yeah, Sheridan makes now good for that. Effective power to weight ratio is just getting buffed. Travel speed just getting buffed too. End-to-end resistance and travel speed, etc. Got even buff, even DPM too. Yeah, the M48 Patton, engine power, effective power ratio, just mobility just gets buffed for some reason. M62, but it's just a little bit worse engine power and better power to weight ratio, and better speed forward is just 50 kilometers per hour. So yeah, T110E5 just gets buff. Expect a power to weight ratio. So yeah, T57 heavy hit points gets buffed, rate of fire gets buffed, magazine reloading time just gets buffed, but dispersion and traverse speed just gets nerfed for no reason, and DPM is just a little bit buffed. Like, yeah, the M60O hit points gets nerfed, yeah, NG power gets nerfed, and effective power to rate ratio just gets nerfed too. T95E6 rate of fire 6.26 seconds. No, just rate of fire just gets buffed. Real only time not almost 10 seconds to 8.63 seconds of reloading time, and DPM just gets buffed. Even speed forward too. Concept 1B rate of fire just gets buffed. Reloading time gets buffed. Dispersion and dispersion factors, tower traverse speed. Yeah, it just gets tower traverse speed just gets nerfed, but the DPM just getting a little bit of buffs. And T110 E4 hit points gets nerfed, DPM has buffs, but penetration just getting nerfed. Rate of fire just buff, reloading time, dispersion, and yeah, just gets buffed. But dispersion factors, yeah, just getting nerfed. And tower traverse speed just getting nerfed too for some reason, and traverse speed just gets buffed. Yeah, DPM just a little bit just gets buffed for that. So yeah, T110 E3, DPM gets nerfed, penetration gets nerfed for some reason, damage gets buffed, like wow. And DPM always goes shares and damage gets buffed, and the DPM just gets nerfed. HE just gets nerfed on DPM and damage just massively, 1020 damage. Rate of fire is only time, dispersion gets a nerf, and the traverse speed just gets buffed. T100 LT hit points gets a nerf, rate of fire gets a nerf, and reloading time gets nerf. However, effective power to ratio gets buffed, and traverse speed even buffed too. Train resistance gets buffed, and DPM just gets nerfed for some reason. T62A maximum ammo 50 to 60. Base aiming time just gets nerfed. Dispersion too, and dispersion factors when rotating target gets nerfed too. But the mobility gets buffed. The engine power, effective power ratio, and speed forward. Object 140 hit points gets nerfed. V range gets buffed. Engine power gets buffed too, and effective power ratio just gets buffed. Consumer while still, and upon fire while still just gets buffed, and speed forward gets buffed too. Object 907 hit points gets buffed, but dispersion gets hit points gets nerfed, but dispersion gets buffed, and penetration just a little bit of buffs. T22 medium effective power ratio gets buffed, traverse speed just gets worse, and turn resistance gets buffed too. IS4 hit points buffed, dispersion factors nerfed, engine power nerfed, and effective power ratio has nerfed, and for some reason speed forward 38 km per hour. But why Wargaming? Why this boy gets nerfed? Okay, well, I7 HP gets nerfed, dispersion gets nerfed, but the wave just a little bit of heavier than the last update. Effective power ratio gets nerfed, and traverse speed gets buffed, but the speed forward, 45 km per hour. Object 260 hit points gets nerfed, aiming time gets buffed, NG power buffed, effective power ratio gets buffed too. Speed forward just getting buffed too. Object 268, TPM just gets worse, and it damage got buffed a little bit. 1000, that's crazy. Rate of fire gets nerfed, reloading time gets nerfed, base aiming time gets buffed, dispersion just nerfed for some reason, and traverse speed gets buffed too. Object 263 V range nerf, engine power nerf, effective power ratio nerf. You'll never be yellow anymore. Yeah, penetration is just a little bit good. 300mm is just enough for tier 10. Speed forward, yeah, it's worse. Yeah, no more yellow wagon. E50M, DPM gets buffed, but the damage gets nerfed. Rate of fire, reloading time gets buffed, and dispersion just getting nerfed, and DPM just slightly better. Leopard 1, the hit point just nerfed. DPM for some reason gets buffed for the damage, yeah, for some reason. Mouse, tower traverse speed gets nerfed, and traverse speed gets nerfed too, but concealment for both of these just gets buffed, and penetration just slight a bit of buff. E100, DPM, damage, rate of fire, reloading time, and dispersion gets nerfed. But traverse speed gets buffed for no reason. So yeah, just kinda E100 just would be not just decent. VK gets nerfed for DPM, damage, and dispersion factors. Yeah, meh. Speed forward, little bit of buff for some reason. VK 901P, base aiming time just gets nerfed and dispersion gets buffed. Yak Panzer 100, hit points gets buffed, but V range gets nerfed for some reason. Base aiming time is buffed, dispersion nerf, dispersion factor just gets buffed, and concealment just gets nerfed for some reason. Gorilla 15, DPM is worse, penetration is slightly better, damage 640 to 600. Okay, then why wargaming? Yeah, why? It's such a good thing, it takes the damage out there. Why? Traverse speed, it gets buffed for some reasons, but yeah, speed forward, little bit of worse, but yeah. Vickers light, V range gets nerfed, dispersion gets buffed, effective power to ratio gets buffed, traverse speed gets buffed, and terrain resistance gets buffed too, and even penetration 240 to 250, just the same gameplay for the penetration. FE422 only dispersion, and that's it, just a nerf, just only one thing, that's it. Okay, wargaming, why? Just that's it. FE215B, hit point gets buffed, V range gets nerfed, DPM gets buffed. Like yes, 3,704 DPM. Wow. And penetration on HE, Jesus Christ, 170mm. Jesus, did you make this tank OP because of HE? Come on, wargaming, come on. Why are you just doing that? Come on. Super Conqueror HP gets buffed, and tower traverse speed gets nerfed for some reason. The Death Star dispersion gets buffed, dispersion factors gets buffed, but concealment just getting worse. Penetration just a little bit worse. It's just still good penetration. And speed backwards, just 12 to 14. The Shitborn DPM, it just gets nerfed. Penetration gets buffed, damage gets nerfed, and the burst damage 380 to 1640 damage. Yeah, because the magazine size 3 to 4. It's just stupid. Why just making this wargaming? Magazine size just stupid. 3.4 at 2.5 seconds for time before the next show is ready. Come on, wargaming, come on. Max ammunition slightly nerfed, and speed forward just nerfed as well. So the Badger, rate of fire gets buffed, reloading time gets buffed, but dispersion is just worse. Traverse speed gets buffed, as well as DPM. STB1, dispersion gets worse, but gun depression just so only 1 degrees of gun depression, only 1 degrees, that's it. Hori, only traverse speed gets buffed, but speed forward just gets worse. W0121, engine power and effective power ratio gets buffed. And 113, Dispersion gets nerfed, Wave has now heavier, effective power ratio gets nerfed, but traverse speed gets buffed, and speed forward for some reason gets nerfed. WZ111 5A, rate of fire, reloading time, and dispersion, even as well as DPN gets buffed, but speed forward just the same as the WZ113. WZ113 GFD, only traverse speed, and that's it. That's it. Just gets buffed, that's it. Batcher 25T, it just hit points gets nerfed, V range gets buffed, and effective power ratio gets buffed too. Travel speed is buffed, and turn resistance gets buffed. AMX 30B, rate of fire gets buffed, reloading time gets buffed, and speed forward just slightly nerfed. AMX 50B, DPN gets nerfed, damage too, but burst damage, yeah, just kinda stupid. Same as the shit born, it's just kinda stupid for some reason. Why would Gimli? Why? Yeah. Rate of fire gets nerfed, magazine reloading time gets nerfed, maximum ammo gets just slightly nerfed. Some reason. Base aiming time and dispersion is now worst. AMX M4 MLE 54. Dispersion gets nerfed, engine power has nerfed, effective power ratio has nerfed, yeah. Fosh 155 rate of fire has buffed, and magazine reloading time has buffed. And it's just a better DPM. That's good. When you want some waiting reloading time, you can get 13.42. Just good. Progetto 65, dispersion gets nerfed, effective power, the engine power has buffed, and effective power ratio gets buffed too. That's a lot of balance for the TVPT 5051. Hit points gets nerfed, rate of fire gets buffed, and magazine reloading time. Yeah, it's my hated thing in magazine reloading time. Just why this guy gets nerfed. Getting the same one, please give it back. Time before next shell is ready. 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Okay then, what? Okay, this is crazy for now. Just like World of Tanks PC, this has the same one. Dispersion factors gets buffed, like, okay, aftershot, yeah, I can get accurate. Effective power ratio gets buffed, but traverse speed just slightly nerfed, and terrain resistance is buffed. DPM is just slightly better. So yeah, Gara 45T has nerfed the hit points, max ammunition, engine power, effective power ratio, and speed forward. Yeah, it's still on a test, so it's not has released for everyone, just for testers. Crown Wagon, rate of fire gets buffed, time before next show is ready, 3.53 to 3 seconds. And tower speed is just buffed, finally. TPM, it's just slightly buffed too. The 60 TP, hit points nerfed, engine power has nerfed, effective power ratio has nerfed, and travel speed gets buffed. M46 Patton, now we're gonna on tier 9 by the way. The gun elevation is 22 degrees to 20 degrees of gun elevation. There's just something that has the same gun as a tier 10 one. The VK4502B, E75 and Martian gets the penetration to 250. So yeah, Waffenträger of Panzer IV and Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger gets a bit of nerves, like, yeah, the damage has smacked that out, and yeah, that is worse. But Waffenträger gets continuous buff, and the Waffenträger gets tower traverse speed buff, and hit points too. Yeah, Conqueror, same as the FV215B. Stupid number, why you take this number? Wargaming 170 is so strong. Like, why? Just very stupid. And we don't care about tier lower tier just gets probably defined in real league time, so yeah, speed forward just worse, tower speed gets worse, I don't care. Updated armor, it just gets a little bit of buff or nerf, I don't know. T57 really heavy, as you can see, this has been buff, and the lower plate and upper plate, the middle plate of that, it just gets nerfed for some reason. F6, yo, I'm so disappointed at this. This is stronger back in the day, and now, yeah. Why wargaming? Why? Are you serious? T95 E6, this cheese, the tower, the sides, has been nerfed. Concept 1B, this has slightly nerfed the upper plate on the frontal hull. T100 LT, it's just upper, same as Concept 1B, is just slightly nerfed as well. Object 140, because it has updated the HG graphics. This sides and the cupola, it just gets nerfed for some reason. But yeah, IS4, alright then. In the last update, the IS4 you can pan it in the driver's head just 250mm. It's just not even good. And if you see this, just 17mm of this side. So yeah. After that, Wargaming fixed this issue. This is 300mm of the driver's hatch, and this has 100mm of this lower sides. So if you do like this, you can side scrape it. It's just good. It's just good. I'm glad that Wargaming just buffed the driver's hatch. I'm very happy with it. Mouse. The turret, the front turret just gets buffed. E100 turret, again just like a mouse, has buff as well. Yak Panzer E100 same. The upper plate of the hull just buff. The Vickers light, the gun mantlet gets nerfed for some reason. FE4202. Okay, then why just they buff the armor? Okay, I agree with that. F5215B, the upper plate of the hull just gets nerfed for some reason. And yeah, Super Conqueror, the sides has been buffed. The size of a hull just gets a buff. The Badger, I didn't see any differences, but I see this thing as buff. Yeah. WZ 113, the sides buff, and WZ 113 GFT. The lower plate and upper plate has buff. Of course, you met the sides hull. AMX 50B, for some reason they nerf it just a little bit. Just kinda meh. The Crown Wagon, it is just nerfed the frontal hull, so nah. M46 Patton, because it's just remodeling the HE model as well as Tiger 1. Look at that, yeah, just completely same. We don't care about it, just that now. So there's a lot of tier 10 to the game. Almost everyone, every tier 10 in the game just gets a balance. Yeah, just kinda mad for that. One of the stupid things, there was a shield ban that received a magazine size. It's just stupid. It just sucks balls. Why are they doing that? Same as the AMX 50B. It's just stupid. It's just so stupid. Some of them are really good, some of them are so bad because of this update, and yeah, I'm happy with some tanks like TVP T5051 and IS4 with driver's hatch, and yeah, that's it. That's what I just thinking about it. But yeah, so let's start it. What's the PBR technology gives HD tanks to HD these old tanks? So let's check it out. Alright, the HD tanks, just 3 tanks. So first one is an Object 130. Just look at that. Yeah, just look at that. Now the second is the N46 Patton. Yeah, it is. Just a stock tank. I didn't research yet, so I'll showcase it anyway. And the third one, the German heavy tank. Come on. The Tiger 1. Just look at that. Look at that beauty. Now is much better. It's much sexier than other tanks. Yeah. So, that's it, guys. So, like that video, subscribe my channel, and take something goody on the comments. So, and goodbye.